More evidence of racism on the OU campus. Another Oklahoman has a job interview with Donald Trump, and the very latest on the attacks at Ohio State University. This is OU Nightly. Happened again. Racist messages on the OU campus.
This time targeting Muslims, and in this particular case, a racist pamphlet handed to a Muslim member of the OU faculty as she walked on campus. Mashad Fahez, an assistant professor in the Mewbourne School of Petroleum and Geological Engineering, says she was walking on the North Oval when someone handed her a pamphlet titled "Camels in the Tent." Fahez says the person said something like, "You'll appreciate this." She says when she looked through the pamphlet, it seemed offensive. In response, she called the OU Police Department to report the incident and made a post to her Facebook account. Fahez says she has never felt unsafe on campus, but she disagrees with the claims that the incident had nothing to do with the election.
And after these tense past couple of weeks at OU, some are blaming the atmosphere created during the campaign and election of Donald Trump. London Bulgarelli shows us how OU is combating campus racism.
From the locker room talk of Trump to the election, some students at OU are not agreeing with Trump's past.
So when Donald Trump talks about assaulting another person, he's talking about invading all of us, right? He's talking about violating all of us. And to consistently assert that this is just how men talk to each other, that's not okay either.
With recent events like a pamphlet degrading Muslims to white supremacy posters all around campus, students are starting to see the true colors of the OU campus.
Just kind of the things that we thought were happening underground are kind of been bringing to surface, which is good and bad at the same time.
Good because it acknowledges the elephant in the room. Bad because it brings hurt to the OU campus. But with this hurt comes aid from OU. From campus forums to diversity trainings, OU is on its way to fighting the issue of racism in the Trump era.
The seekness of equality and diversity is not a one-time thing, and so it takes a period of time. And I think our university is doing the best steps to get to that.
London Bulgarelli, OU Nightly.
For more information on how to get involved in diversity efforts at OU, you can visit ou.edu/community.
And incidents of racism aren't limited to the OU campus. The Norman Transcript reports that racial slurs were made towards the players on a Norman Youth Soccer Association team. The alleged incident happened in a tournament in Ardmore. The Norman athletes report members of an opposing team repeatedly called two of their African-American teammates the N-word and trash. The Oklahoma Soccer Association is investigating the complaints.
It was gorgeous outside. I just loved walking around campus today.
Definitely. Kylie, what can we expect?
Well, actually, in about a day and a half, we can expect another cool down. But right now, it's just warm and sunny. Above average temperatures throughout the entire state. 63 right now in Norman, 63 in Oklahoma City. After a rainy evening and day yesterday, dumping over 2 inches of rain down in the southeastern portion of the state. Half an inch in the southeastern portion of the state, and again, not so much here in central Oklahoma, but that line of storms is still firing off to the east of us. I'll be talking more about that right now in May weather. Also be talking about that cool down on Tuesday and possible winter weather this weekend. But for right now, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kylie. And President-elect Donald Trump is continuing his vetting of Oklahoma government officials. Today, he was scheduled to meet with Oklahoma Attorney General Scott Pruitt in New York City. There is no confirmation yet that the men made their meeting, and we don't know what the two men might discuss once they're face-to-face. Trump met with Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin a week ago to talk about a potential position for her in the Interior Department.
And Emily Akins is in the news center with the latest on the brutal attacks at the Ohio State University. Emily?
Yeah, thanks. Police identified the man that drove his car into pedestrians this morning on the Ohio State campus. 18-year-old Abdul Razak Ali Artan got out of his car and proceeded to slash students with a butcher knife before being shot dead by university police. Officials rushed 9 people to the hospital. 1 is still in critical condition. The big question still puzzling investigators: what drove the dead suspect to commit the attack? And Syria and its allies today captured roughly a third of the territory in Aleppo. The attack left thousands of citizens homeless and broke a 2012 agreement between the government and rebels in that area. Soldiers advanced by foot into the territory, but Russian airstrikes in the area helped the troops advance. This attack is the latest sign in the ongoing conflict that the Syrian president is pursuing a military solution. And Cubans stood in line for hours today to begin saying goodbye to their leader of 49 years, Fidel Castro. The government kept the procession quiet and tightly run in 3 columns that moved past memorials and portraits of Castro. And while the Cubans waited in line, for the first time in half a century, American Airlines flew commercial flights to Havana. The first direct flight took off from Miami International Airport around 7:30 this morning. But while airlines in the coming months plan more flights to Cuba, President-elect Donald Trump isn't so sure if he wants the flights at all. Trump tweeted this morning that if Cuba is unwilling to make a better deal for Cuban-American people and the U.S. as a whole, he will terminate the normalized relations restored by President Obama. In Erick, today, Wisconsin officials announced that on Thursday they will start the official recount of votes in the state's presidential election.
Thanks, Emily.
And still ahead on OU Nightly, North Dakota pipeline protesters face a looming deadline.
Plus, new data raises concerns about the Gulf of Mexico in the wake of the BP oil spill.
More bad economic news in Oklahoma City. Tax collections for the past month are down again. OKC's November sales tax report shows general fund collections fell 1.8% compared to the same month last year. For the fiscal year, sales tax revenue is more than 4% below projections.
A body was found in a lake at Northeast Lions Park in Norman. The body has been identified as 47-year-old Kevin Michael Riley from Washington, Oklahoma. Norman police say the body was spotted Sunday afternoon by some people playing disc golf. Police say the body shows no visible signs of trauma, but a cause of death has not yet been released.
And gas prices are on the rise. The average price for a gallon of regular gas is up a nickel over last week, but remains below $2 per gallon. AAA Oklahoma announced today the average statewide price is $1.89 per gallon, still the nation's second lowest price. And Courtney Boggs joins us now with the latest on the Dakota Access Pipeline protests. Courtney?
Yeah, that's right, Allie. More controversy on the front lines of the Dakota Access Pipeline protest. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers wrote a letter to the Standing Rock Sioux tribe on Friday, stating that the areas the tribe is using to protest the pipeline will no longer be open to the public beginning December 5th. John W. Henderson, a district commander with the Corps, said that anyone found on the land after that date will be considered trespassing and subject to prosecution. Standing Rock Sioux Tribe's chairman Dave Archambault II released a response statement saying that the tribe is deeply disappointed by the move, but it has not changed their resolve to prevent the pipeline from being built north of the reservation lands. And more than 6 years after the worst oil spill in U.S. history, recent discoveries of illegal, unreported oil pour-outs and organized dumping of chemicals into the Gulf of Mexico have raised new fears about environmental damage. Tracking of federal data by the environmental watchdog group SkyTruth shows more than 11,700 oil spills have been discarded into the Gulf since 2010. Gifford Briggs of the Louisiana Oil and Gas Association said that there is currently no proof that the recent spills have had any significant impact on the environment, but experts will continue to monitor any possible environmental effects. And what better way to utilize energy from the sun than on an island? The small island of Ta'au in American Samoa has officially made the switch from diesel generators to 100% renewable energy. With an area of only 17 square miles, Ta'au has a population fewer than 1,000 people, and until now has always relied on generators to provide their energy. Because the island is so remote, fuel for the generators had to be shipped in by boat, and complications often left the island struggling for power. About a year ago, the American Samoa Power Authority began a project to help the island cut down on costs and greenhouse gas emissions. 5,000 Solar City solar panels and 60 Tesla Power Pack battery storage systems later, the island is now fully supported by renewable energy. And guys, the batteries actually provide 3 full days of power for the island and can be fully recharged with 7 hours of sun. Obviously, this project is on a smaller scale, seeing as it's a tiny island, but it kind of gives hope for the renewable energy movement that maybe this can be transitioned into the United States.
Definitely. Thank you, Courtney.
Thanks,
You're
Courtney.
welcome.
And coming up on OU Nightly, Kylie Caps is here with weather.
Warm and sunny outside right now, but there is a cold front on its way. I'll have that and more coming up next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Kylie Caps. Quiet and calm outside right now after this extensive line of storms moved through our area yesterday. Now, it is dumping quite a bit of rain in the Chicago all the way down to Louisiana, and right now there actually is a tornado warning. So parts of this storm has turned severe. 2 touchdowns in Iowa, 2 tornado touchdowns today already, and there still is a tornado warned storm up in central Iowa right now. So we're lucky that whenever that moved through, it wasn't severe, but still grateful for that rainfall yesterday. Now, across the entire region, you can see this cold mass of air up in Colorado down into New Mexico, and that is what I'm expecting to move through our area over the next couple of days, bringing with it much needed cooler air. But right now, lots of dry air, and 61 here in Norman. Temperatures across the entire region are mild, hotter down in Dallas. Now, that drought is starting to creep back through, especially down in the southeastern portion of the state. Even after that rainfall yesterday, that drought is still present. Because of that, fire danger is high still today. Dew points outside right now. Normal here in central Oklahoma, upper 20s, low 30s, but extremely dry out in the panhandle. And because of that, again, fire weather is present and near critical today. Dew points are higher down in the southeastern part of the state, and that's because of that cold front that did push through. That's that edge of that cold front that pushed through a couple of days ago that is still continuing to make its way across the eastern part of the state. And behind that cold front, it's just a bunch of dry air. Now, because the winds are from the southwest right now, that is reinforcing that dry air, again, making fire weather critical today. So please don't burn outside tonight. That's the main underlying point. Again, fire weather today near critical, dropping down low Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Throughout the rest of the week, we won't have to worry about that. That's because of that cold front that's going to be moving through tomorrow, and because of that, bringing more moist air with it. But right now, again, extremely dry outside. Lows across the entire state, below freezing out in the panhandle, and above normal for this time of year here in central Oklahoma. 41 is a low tonight. Normal for this time of year is 34, so we still are going to be way above average for this time of year. 39 is a low in Oklahoma City tonight, so it's going to be a little bit cooler tonight, and then a major cool down tomorrow night, but I'll be talking more about that in just a second. Warming up to 60 degrees tomorrow. Those winds will be decreasing throughout the day. We could see gusts, though, around noon up to 20 miles per hour, so keep an eye on that as you're heading out the door tomorrow. Throughout the entire state, it is still going to be above average for this time of year. 55 degrees. We're going to hit 60 tomorrow here in Norman. Cooler out in that panhandle as that cold front starts to make its way through our area. Taking a look at our 2-day forecast again, Tuesday night is when we're expecting that cold front to come through. High of 53 on Wednesday, so a little bit cooler, which is a good thing, something that we're really looking forward to. And then Thursday, 58 as a high. Cooling down again on Saturday, though, guys. For Bedlam, it's going to be cold. Now, I'm not saying anything about precip chances right now. I've only forecasted about a 30% chance. We'll see if it actually does snow, rain, sleet. I don't know. It's still all up in the air, but just cold, and that's for sure. So
Cross
definitely
your
expect
fingers.
that.
When do you expect us to actually see some winter weather?
This weekend. This weekend is
Great.
finally going to start feeling
Perfect.
like winter.
Thanks, Kylie.
You're
Thanks.
welcome.
And Kenneth Adair is now here with more on OU's chances of making the playoffs. Kenneth?
That's right, guys. The Sooners had a bye week this past weekend, but we'll take a look at where they rank heading into Bedlam. Sports is next. Mekhi Quick is no longer a part of the OU football program due to a violation of team rules. Quick started his OU career as a wide receiver, but then switched to cornerback at the beginning of the 2016 season. But he did not play for long as he wasn't able to stay healthy throughout the season. Stoops says Quick is still allowed to use the rehab facilities to continue getting better. Going into the rivalry matchups, Michigan took on Ohio State. In the second quarter, the Wolverines backed up in their own end zone. Malik Hooker takes an interception back to the house for a pick six. Later in the quarter, Khalid Hill takes a pass from Wilton Spate to the end zone to give Michigan a 10-point lead. Skipping to the fourth with the game on the line, Tyler Durbin kicks a 23-yard field goal on fourth down to send it into overtime. That's where Spate throws another TD pass, but this time to Amari Darboh to put the game in double overtime. Where on the final play, Curtis Samuel would take the run to the end zone, ending the game 30-27. After the rivalry weekend in college football, there were only a few changes to the top 8. Staying strong, number 1 is Alabama. Ohio State remains at number 2, with Clemson jumping up to 3 and Washington moving back into the 4th spot of the AP polls. Oklahoma still remains in the hunt at number 7 going into Bedlam. OU men's basketball returned Friday as they took on Abilene Christian. The Sooners had a slow start in the first half, but picked it up in the second, putting up 46 of their 72 points. Jordan Woodard led the charges. He put up a game-high 16 points. And women's basketball took on Colorado State yesterday. Maddie Manning had a game-high 16 points and 9 rebounds. The 12th-ranked Sooners are now 5-0 as they take on 17th-ranked Kentucky this Thursday. And although the Sooner volleyball season didn't go according to plan, they still had some ending awards. Marion Hazelwood and Michaela Spann were both selected to the All-Big 12 team as of this afternoon. Last Thursday, the Cowboys went head-to-head with NFC East rival, the Redskins, in the second quarter. Dak Prescott goes to Terrence Williams for a tip-toe touchdown catch. Look at those twinkle toes. Moving to the fourth, Dak decides to take it in on his own for a 6-yard touchdown run. Later in the fourth, Ezekiel Elliott gets his second TD of the day as he pushes into the end zone. But in the final minutes, Jordan Reed makes a huge grab in the back of the end zone to put the Redskins down by 5. Washington went for the onside kick but didn't get it as Elliott forced the ball out, winning the game 31-26. Staying in the NFL with Denver facing the Kansas City Chiefs. Moving to the fourth, Trevor Siemian goes deep to Denny Fowler, putting the Broncos up 24-16. That was an amazing play. But in the final seconds, Alex Smith goes to Tyreek Hill for a 3-yard TD. Later in the game, they would go for 2 and get it, sending the game into overtime, where Cario Santos would kick the game-winning field goal, just barely putting it through as it hit off the uprights and through the goal. And Bud Light is having their own version of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but you must be 21 to play. The official sponsor of the Super Bowl announced last week that if you find a golden can in your purchase, you will win a lifetime supply of Super Bowl tickets. Now, isn't that a dream?
Sounds like my type of game.
It really is. I think most people would be happy just to go to one Super Bowl.
I'm honestly glad I'm 21 because that is definitely something I want to do.
Thanks, Kenneth. And still to come on OU Nightly, one woman is busy at work preparing for the holiday season, but not how you would think.
I'm Abby Green at the Update Desk with the latest on the Ohio State attacks. The top Democrat on the House of Intelligence Committee says the attack is similar to other terrorist attacks carried out by people who have self-radicalized. Officials are still investigating the exact motivations and background of the suspect. That's all for now. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Abby. Well, Thanksgiving has passed and Christmas is on the horizon. Families everywhere are preparing for the holidays. But Nightly's Stephen Mudd shows us one woman who focuses on those less fortunate.
The McGuire Foundation focuses on giving to those who have lost their homes in natural disasters as well as the mentally handicapped.
If they have a fire, flood, or tornado and they lose everything, they need help.
Annette Brown started the foundation 38 years ago and evolved from something small to something big.
And all I had for the projects was an old box car and some old worn out shelving.
Annette now distributes to the whole state with her donations, but the most work she does is providing Christmas to the mentally handicapped.
Out of 38 years, and starting with one home, this will be the 8th year to cover and go all over the whole state of Oklahoma.
Giving back to those who don't have much is top priority on Annette's list.
I don't know if I could tell you how much that helps me get through life.
Annette, obviously passionate about giving back, so much that she believes it makes her day.
By the end of the day, I always think it's really been a good day if I could help somebody. I'm totally dedicated and my heart's in it. I'll be doing this till the day I drop.
Stephen Mudd, OU Nightly.
And if you would like to make a donation or help Annette wrap her gifts, you can contact her at 405-872-8694.
Hey Kylie, can we take another look at that forecast?
Yes, definitely. Tonight it's going to be above normal, but it's going to be a cool night, guys.
Thanks, Kylie.
You're welcome.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll be back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.